So, United States troops have been expelled via parliament from Iraq. The question is, will they actually leave? Let's read two different articles here. One saying what Parliament did and that they expelled U.S. troops, and the other one saying, well, but will the U.S. troops actually leave? Something developing here, possibly. I don't really know what would happen if our troops just said, no, we're not leaving. I don't know. So, from Al Jazeera, so keep that in mind. It is on other reports, and this is a pretty factual report. Vote comes after PM Abdul Mahdi recommended Parliament take urgent measures to expel foreign troops from Iraq. Iraq's parliament has passed a resolution calling on the government to expel foreign troops from the country as Iran-U.S. tensions escalate, following the killing of a top Iranian military commander, an Iraqi armed group leader in a U.S. strike in Baghdad. So, I don't know. I'm still wondering in my head what would happen if we just say, no, we're not going to leave your country. In an extraordinary parliamentary session on Sunday, Parliament called on the government to end all foreign troop presence in Iraq and to cancel its request for assistance from the U.S.-led coalition, which had been working with Baghdad to fight the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, or ISIL. So, I do kind of believe it's a bad idea for the U.S. troops to leave because then we're forming a power vacuum. That's not going to be good. The Iraqi army is not going to be able to handle it, and I don't believe it's going to work out well. And then again, devil's advocate. It's not going to work out well no matter which way we slice it. Let's just be honest. The government commits to revoke its request for assistance from the international coalition fighting Islamic State due to the end of military operations in Iraq and the achievement of victory, the resolution read. The achievement of victory. There is no victory yet. They haven't won anything. I'll read this next quote, then we'll go to the other article. The Iraqi government must work to end the presence of any foreign troops on Iraqi soil and prohibit them from using its land, airspace, or water for any reason. It doesn't necessarily single out, it doesn't say American troops, it just says all foreign troops. So, let's go to this article here. U.S. troops unlikely to be forced out of Iraq, despite calls for their expulsion, an analyst says. Interesting, crazy. I don't know what would happen if we just ignore a country's... It's unprecedented. I don't know. Iraqi leaders have called for the expulsion of U.S. troops and a special session of Good Lord. Of Parliament was convened on Sunday to discuss legislation that could call for their removal or the end of their presence. What was I was thinking? Following the targeted killings near Baghdad airport on Friday of Iranian military leader Qasem Soleimani and Iraqi military commander Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis. This is all really kind of a part of that sphere of influence I'd been talking about before that Qasem Soleimani had formed before over the last 15 years is a good measure. And they worked very hard to have that sphere of influence. Now, if they go against that sphere of influence, here's the thing. Iran is within that sphere of influence, so if they don't go and take these actions, then they live in the region. They have to face the consequences within their own backyard. So, of course, they're going to come hard. I mean, it has to be expected. What happened was a political assassination. Yeah, I would tend to basically agree. Iraqi's caretaker Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi said in a Sunday address to the parliament. The Washington Post reported, Iraq cannot accept this. And they can't. They literally cannot. Because imagine you live in one neighborhood, right? and this one neighborhood, everybody is solidified against this other neighborhood over here. And then this neighborhood comes over, and one person in this neighborhood, how shall we say, deletes someone in your neighborhood. Even if you are pacifist and you don't want to take action because you live in that neighborhood, if you don't, you have to deal with the consequences within your own neighborhood against your own neighbors. Does that make sense? So they literally don't have a choice. They have to take this stance. Even if they didn't want to, they have to take this stance. But I do believe they want to. The government does, not the people. Targeting their cultural targets is a dumb idea. 52 targets, cultural targets. The cultural targets are a bad idea. Anyways, continuing. Sorry. The Parliament then voted to expel the U.S. troops, 170 to 0. However, many of the legislative body's 328 members did not attend. So 328 members there, 170 voted. That means most of them were not actually present, probably because, yeah, we can add 2 plus 2, right? Gee, I wonder in a country like Iran why a whole lot of members wouldn't want to show up. Because they don't want to piss off either side. I would have the flu on that day if I lived there. I'd be like, nope, I'm not getting up. I'm not voting. What? No. Sorry, boss. I'm sorry. I'm way too sick. I can't come vote today. I just can't. No way. Not doing it. Because no matter which way you go, you're effed. The legislation would be valid when it is signed by the Prime Minister, and it remains unclear how a U.S. withdrawal would move forward. Not easily. A withdrawal, as you withdraw, you have less and less troops to defend the withdrawing troops, and you get to a point where anybody who wants to do harm would know that you're basically running a skeleton crew at that point. Okay, we're going to skip down here. The Iraqi parliament may vote to expel U.S. troops from Iraq, but I think the issue will get lost within the country's different branches of government. Hilal Kashan, a professor of political studies and public administration at the American University of Beirut, said ahead of the vote. U.S. troops will stay in Iraq, he predicted. So it's essentially like our impeachment. We're going to do it, we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And then when it comes time to doing it, someone lost the paperwork, or we're just hold on to it for a minute. We needed to get this done, but just put the brakes on it for a minute. Let's stop. Let's not go forward with it. This is what I was talking about earlier in a previous video. They're going to take actions to save face and try to give the United States a black eye and still maintain their sphere of influence in the region and uphold the persona of fighting the devil, America. They're not going to start World War III, people. They are not. Their departure would be a great victory for Iran, and the death of Soleimani would be avenged, he asserted. Well, if that would settle the score, then I would by all means be like, yeah, but come on, that's not going to settle the score. If honestly I believe that just expelling U.S. troops from the country would be, then they'd be like, okay, we're good, we're even. Yeah, I don't believe that. Not for one bit. But anyways, let me know your opinion on the matter. Like I said, this is them giving the United States a bloody nose, basically, and trying to save face and maintain their sphere of influence. That's very important for a country like Iran. It's important for most countries. But for Iran, especially because of the nature of the region that they're in, it's a very violent region, and having that sphere of influence and people got your back, basically, well, that's very important. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your opinions are. I will see you guys on the next one. I thank you for your time, and you have a good one.